How to get started with wholesaling within 30 days. One of the most common ways for people who want to start investing in real estate is to start by wholesaling. But what is wholesaling and how do you do it? Real estate wholesaling is a business strategy in which a wholesaler signs a contract for a home and then sells the contract to someone else. They act as a middleman, selling the property on behalf of their clients and keeping their money when they make a sale. Investing in real estate is not the same as investing in stocks and bonds, which are two different things. If you want to get into these two markets, you can do so with as little as $100. You can enter and exit as often as you want. But when you're dealing with real estate, it's not that simple to figure out what to do because it can be hard to figure out and cost a lot. When you buy and sell homes, it takes time. First, you have to come up with a down payment, get financing, fill out all the paperwork, and then close. You also have to deal with tenants and collect rent, which takes a lot of your time. Luckily for you, Real Talker, today we're going to talk about how to start wholesaling in 30 days. Take a look at your sale. If you really want to make money in real estate but just can't fathom the idea of saving up all that money and dealing with the purchase process, you still have several options. Real estate wholesaling is one of them. We're gonna look at everything so that you can do something. You can go out and try to get your deal done in 30 days. We should begin now. Let's not waste any more time. Most of the people who are watching this video probably don't know what wholesaling is or have heard that wholesaling can make you a lot of money. But those things are not true. However, there is a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of times. Most people who try to start wholesaling don't follow through, and it does not work out for them. However, for you, because you're watching this and you have to make a promise to yourself not to give up, you can make this work. You can do this. Let us say you want to get your first deal in 30 days. We want you to make time to drive $4. So, let's say you're not at work right now and you can spend all of your time on this. So we want you to get into your car and drive $4. We want you to look for houses that have tall grass, broken windows, need new roofs, and boarded up, have a lot of mail in the mailbox and are just sitting there, and we want you to do this while you're driving. There are more renters on one side of town than on the other. You don't have to. You can do it in any part of town, at any price point. There's a reason we told you to go to places with a lot of renters. Landlords get tired a lot more quickly than people who own homes. The deal machine. In your car, you're writing down the addresses on a piece of paper. We've been there too, so we know that. A piece of paper will do. You will write down these addresses and this house is boarded up. We wonder what's going on over there. You can see it in the window over there. Wow, that window has been closed. The address is 987 Main Street. Write it down on paper or use a deal machine. Driving for dollars is the idea behind a real estate marketing and investing tool called a deal machine. There's a concept behind the app that allows you to drive around and find a home you like, then use the app to get in touch with the owner. When the owner accepts your offer, it gives you dollars. However, let's say you don't have any money right now. People who have no money don't have the deal machine. And what you can do is write these addresses down the right way so you can do that. People will be looking for you for 2 hours. They want you to write down these addresses. Once you write down 3 pages, there are 4 places in your city where you can find them. Then it's time for you to go back inside the house. Okay, so what you have is data that you made up yourself. Then you have what you call a niche list. This is because you know that these people have a problem, which makes you want to help them. Suppose you know there's a problem and you want to go to your city assessment site from there. And from your city's assessment site, you can find out who owns these homes there as well. Those can go off the list. The house was owned by a bank. We don't mail the houses that haven't been on the market for more than a year. When I say less than 12 months, I mean that they were bought in the last 12 months or so. Sometimes, an investor is just waiting for money. Start fixing that up now because he had some projects over there. You know you want to make sure this is done right. Our goal is that someone will own the house for 3 to 5 years. In the beginning, when you cross out the things that you don't want to mail, like bank-owned things and recently bought things, you just cross them out. At least for 3 to 5 years, you don't have to do this. People who live in the United States can get a handwritten postcard from the United States Personal Service. A priest will also write on the postcard that you're going to give out. Your house is on Main Street and we want to buy it for cash. We'll put it on your phone number and your full name. Then we will say, please call. You can say, please call or text if you feel more comfortable with texting. They don't want to call you but they feel more comfortable texting you, so you can ask them to do that. Skip tracing. Skip tracing is done in stages. The first thing to do is to check the information the client gave you. This will help you figure out who the subject is and if the client has any false information. Then, the skip tracer will start getting as much information about the subject as possible. The information is then looked at, reduced, and checked. A lot of information or misinformation can make it hard to find out where a person is right now. Often, the job is more than just research because one often has to use social engineering, which is when one calls or visit former neighbors or other people who know about the subject to ask them about it, sometimes under false or misleading pretenses. Area skip.com is where you're going, but there are a lot of other places. As for us, we use Area Skip. However, there are other sites out there that can help you find people who have been missing for a long time. We will use our names when we send them a text. Hey, we're Real Estate Real Talk. We were driving around and we wanted to see where you could sell 123 Main Street. Yes or no, how did you get my number? You can just say, hey, we looked it up on the internet and we were able to get it. Because we're an investor in the area, we want to see where you bought the house you bought. Sometimes you say, okay, well yeah, I'm interested in it and I'm gonna sell it. That isn't your main goal though. You want to get them off texting and on the phone because you want to get them closed on the phone or you don't want to set up an appointment. To meet them in person, you can do that. However, you must take those steps to get in front of those sellers. Okay, let's cut down this video. We don't do 3 or 4 different things. There is only one thing we can tell you. We told you to drive for dollars, so let's do that. In that list, you would then go back and text, call, or email each person on the list. If you could get an email, you would email them. Then tell them, hey, would you be interested in selling your house? People might say, hey, don't call me again. In this case, you should say, I'm sorry I called and I'll take you off my list. Remove them from your list. However, we want you to be a little more aggressive when you know the part about calling. Don't just be cool. You should try to call them or text them as well. Cold calling. If you're going to be cold calling, please get your list scrubbed. Don't call the registry. So, you don't want to call somebody on the do not call list. Check with your state's rule about cold calls. Call if you're going to. They don't want to buy something from you when you text them. You're not selling anything and you're not soliciting them to buy something. How much will it cost you to drive? You're going to do the same thing next week. We did it once a week. The chances of getting the deal goes up a lot when you have more time. You're gonna get a lot of no's before you get to that. In fact, this can't happen in a month. We have seen it happen in 30 days, so don't give up on me yet. If you find that sell in 30 days, we will get your check. So, what you're going to do next is get a contract on that piece of land, and then you're gonna look for bigger pockets. This is what you will do, okay? Let's get back to work on the bigger pockets market. As soon as you get someone to buy your product, you'll see a lot of sales. If it's a good deal, someone will buy it. A few days later, you should be able to cash the check. So it's simple, but it's not simple. It's a long process with these things, so we tried to make this video easier to understand. Real estate wholesaling isn't for everyone. It takes a lot of time, commitment, and patience to do. You also need to be very good at communicating and marketing, and these skills are important. And it doesn't hurt if you have a group of investors who might be interested in buying the properties you sell. Make sure you know what kind of offer to make before you do it. This is very important. People may not want to buy from you if you offer too little money. However, if you price your home too high, you may not be able to find a buyer who is willing to take on the risk of buying and fixing up a home that needs work. There are 2 things you need to do in order to be a good wholesaler. Make sure that you can get out of the deal before the closing date and add a clause in the contract that lets you do that. In this way, the wholesaler has less risk. To be a real estate wholesaler, the most important thing you need is a contract. This is how you make money. It might be worth it to spend some money and have a trusted real estate lawyer write up a purchase agreement that you can use to help you in situations where someone tries to buy the home from the seller without telling you. You should pay attention to this if you can buy a lot of wholesale properties at the same time. In order for that deal to happen, you need to make sure that the contract is signed. The Everything Store. We don't want you to learn 3 or 5 ways to do something. We're gonna give you one more method. We should go out and look for money because it works. That's how we got our first deal. And that's how you can get your first deal. Getting your first deal is more likely if you do it more. We were recently listening to a book called The Everything Store, and it's about Amazon. It's a part of the book whereas Jeff Bezos had a sit down with Nike. Jeff Bezos wanted to get into the sneaker game, and Nike thought about it. And like he said, no, we don't want to give you an account with us because once we give you an account with us, we're throwing our sneakers in the discount bin. don't want to do that. So Amazon went that way and Nike went that way. Nike did what was best for their future. They didn't want to drop $200 Michael Jordan shoes all the retailers on for $200 if Amazon will sell them for $59.99. So they knew that was throwing their sneakers in a discount bin. That's what they felt. It's a story you should know because some of you are gonna talk to people about real estate who haven't done real estate, and they're gonna try to talk you out of it. Talk to either, oh no, you can't get a check for 10 grand at 30, or you can get a check for 10 to grow and pay. They're doing what's best for them, you're doing what's best for you too. It turns out that the founder of Nike is a billionaire, and we found that Amazon is a billionaire too. It's not a bad thing that no one is hurting. There's a good chance that they can talk on the phone and go golfing if they want to. We just want you to remember that you have to make the right choice for your future. That's it for this video, Real Talker. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and if you feel like we've delivered value, please share this video with one person. That's right, just one person as a token of your appreciation for the hard work we put into making content that educates and helps you on your mission of building your own fortune. Remember, you can watch video after video, but it isn't until you actually take action that you'll start to see results. See you soon!